Hello there, everybody. Charles Hammaker here with Circling Seattle Sports. As I apologized for it on this week's episode of CSS on Converge, I'll apologize again for the busted bottom lip. I'm working on it. It's cold, whatever. Anyway, by now you've seen it, you've looked at it. This point of this video is to sort of combine everything that we've gotten of it, of the Seattle Kraken Winter Classic jersey. It's officially come out. There was the weird leaks, supposed leaks, and I'll talk about that in a second, of this jersey coming out. And everybody's kind of wondering what in the world, why is this happening? Why hasn't the team done it? So on and so forth. We'll look in that now. Obviously, there were the leaks from the Utah Jazz, AEW, and Cowboys linebacker Micah Parsons. Long story short, this sort of leaking or placement of this jersey throughout these different folks teams that aren't related to Seattle whatsoever is basically it's a term called seeding, where they're strategically brands or teams or leagues are strategically placing these things in different areas to be found and to generate interest, to get people talking about it. Obviously, when there was the Jazz leak, people were talking about it. When there was the AW leak the next day, people were talking about it. I didn't see as many people around social media find the one behind Micah Parsons. I found it. It had me talking about it at least, but that's what's happened there. So it was kind of interesting to see that all play out. Um, Obviously the league and I'm sure Adidas wanted to get people talking about this. You want to, it was paid attention to, it was teased. And you kind of say, okay, there was the interest for it. People saw it. They were confused at first, but they knew they wanted it. And so when the Kraken officially had their unveiling on the 22nd, we were able to see what it looks like, see the merchandise, so on and so forth. And now I'll play you our kind of general combination of clips from the 22nd at Kraken Community Iceplex morning skate ahead of their game against the San Jose Sharks, when that was revealed to the public, including the merchandise and all that and the general excitement around that. So you'll see that here.
Fine today. Go one shot. Very lucky, dude.
Damn, you need extra shine, huh? Oh, God. Thanks, buddy. So obviously, you see when the team store opened and they had that all officially unveiled, they had to wait until 10:05 so that the NHL could make their official announcement. All of the merchandise surrounding it, whether it be hoodies, polos, pucks, the gift that you got with while supplies lasted of the little Kraken jersey ornament, the details and the decals at the game itself, the branding at the game. Obviously, Bowie had it on, and Bowie gave my head a good shine, as you saw in that clip there. But yeah, so it was kind of fun to see that. Obviously, it was fun that night because the Kraken won as well. But we'll cycle through some photos here by our photographer, Sage Zipeto, that she got in the layer that day. With them officially out. So the jersey obviously pays homage to the Seattle Metropolitans that existed from 1915 to 1924. There's a detail inside the neck that you should have seen with the number, the year rather, 1917, which goes back to the year that the Metropolitans won the Stanley Cup, becoming the first North American team to win the Stanley Cup. But it also pays homage to past uniforms won by different hockey teams in the Seattle area. The Seattle Eskimos from 1928 to 31, and the Seattle Ironmen from 1944 to 1952. The Ironmen precursors to the Seattle American, well, both of those teams precursors to the Seattle Americans and the Seattle Totems. So there's a lot of involvement with Seattle hockey history here. Obviously, with the Winter Classic jerseys, typically the NHL will go back to different eras, pardon me, of that team's NHL existence. But with the Kraken not having that, they went a different direction and they went with the Metropolitans here, obviously, which makes a ton of sense. Ever since the Kraken existed, there's been talk about some sort of homage to the Metropolitans. Obviously, the Metropolitans banner that hangs inside of Climate Pledge Arena. You can see there looking at the jerseys from the Metropolitans and then looking at the Winter Classic jerseys for the Kraken, where that inspiration comes and where that homage is being paid. Um, Obviously, you see the S is reminiscent of what those metropolitan teams wore, with the S inside, with a Seattle word inside of the S. But obviously, with this being a Kraken kick, it's got the word Kraken inside of it, with that red eye that's become so popular, and with that red alert red on obviously the S, but obviously the numbers as well. That S and those numbers are a nice layered felt, which calls back once again to the Metropolitans and is a nice touch, back from when those jerseys were called sweaters, because the material that they were made of was closer to resembling two sweaters there. Um, so which is really cool to see. You got the crooked lettering, and there's a quote from Kraken Vice President of Branding, Aaron Wigan, of the lettering and it being crooked. It's saying, "We made it crooked because they used to do it done by hand. No two jerseys were exactly the same, and we liked that kind of uniqueness to the jersey as well. We actually saw it structured originally, and it didn't look as good." So that's kind of cool. The colors you see there, obviously from the Kraken branding, the midnight blue, the ice blue that's become so popular, and the red alert red. There's this off-white cream color that's mixed in there that kind of harkens back to the Metropolitans as well. The block striping that's become so popular, a lot like what the Iron Men wore. In back in their day, the ribbed sweater neckline that's actually knit, that sweater, oops, I should be cycling the photos, I apologize. Um, so that's been a ton of fun to see. The Kraken will wear their regular blue pants as part of their throwback uniform. The team reviewed about 15 different uniform designs before deciding to go with that. The jerseys, while blank, are $200 with a name on them, with a team name. They are $300. I understand the price point isn't great. The revenue is split between the NHL teams, Adidas, and Mm, 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 mm. So yeah, it makes sense here. They want to generate the interest. I guess it makes a little sense to generate interest beyond the Seattle and Vegas locations, and having the Jazz, Dallas Cowboys linebacker Micah Parsons, and AEW involved in that. Trying to get you all of this information based in here. Um, oh, it says Jordan Clarkson. That was not in fact Jordan Clarkson who was wearing that. That's kind of funny. Um, So yeah, the strategic leak was interesting to see how that all played out. It took over the past 12 months for this to come up together, and it made obviously a ton of sense to go back to pay homage there. You know, you look at it, the barber pole stripe design, the felt there, that sort of vintage cream. Um, that striping, the Seattle Eskimos team that played in the Civic Ice Arena. I'm not just saying that; that is their name, and the Portland Rosebuds, who also did that. The Rosebuds didn't win the Stanley Cup, but they were the first U.S. team to ever have their names engraved on the back, on it back in 1916, when names from both competing teams were etched into the Cup's rings. So yeah, I'm trying to see if there are any other details as well. Um, but no, really cool to see this all played out. The team store has said that they will get more and more merchandise coming out as we build into the Winter Classic itself. But I think it looks great. I'm sure we'll do more stuff regarding the Winter Classic jersey and the event itself leading into it. But fun to kind of recap this, and wanted to get a good amount of the information that we could out about it to you guys there. So I hope this is helpful, and hopefully the Kraken can do a little better leading into the Winter Classic. But excited for an event like that. All regardless. So looking forward to that.